What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. Give you a quick overview of some of the data points, break it down on what is really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi is up 1.41%, roughly around 1 hour left in the trading day. 14.85 the low, 16.05 the high. So you had a crazy sell-off that did happen, and it had nothing to do with the data points. So you had non-farm payroll coming in better than anticipated. You also had unemployment coming in line with the forecast. So that sell-off had nothing to do with that. Rather, in my opinion, I think it was just some large entity clicking the wrong button because it was shorts. So I'm going to go over what they did and what they are doing, but today, no news, no SEC filings, nothing like that. So it's just kind of piggybacking off the broader market. Plus, you are having more and more articles kind of bringing up the news from December the 4th. So I think in general, that is going to be a fairly positive thing going forward. So we'll just wait and see. But today is rather low volume. So 47 million shares being traded, 58 is the average. And you are seeing a good amount of transactions on the secondary market. So these are some buys that did happen first thing. A couple big ones, 6.14. And then this is ultimately some of the culprits alongside shorts that did cause this sell-off roughly about 20 minutes or something like that in on the trading day. And so when I said someone clicked the wrong button, that's shorts. So right now, net, they are returning 240,000 shares. 13.24% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 141.03 million shares overall are being shorted. And you do see this cost to borrow minimum back at negative. So there is that broker once again trying to drum up business. It's not significant because this is an annual rate, but still I think it's the principle of what's been happening. So they are really trying to drum up business, but I think they've been largely failing. But when I said that someone must have hit the wrong button, this is when the market did open. So ultimately 1.2 million shares, they were increasing first thing. So that was really just a shock to the market, triggered most likely a lot of stop losses, and that is how it did hit this low. So if you were managed to buy this, if you had a limit order, give yourself a shout out in the comments below. Congratulations. But since then, shorts have returned quite a lot, and this is how net they are returning 240,000 shares. So generally speaking, pretty good stuff in that regard. Moving on to options. So keep in mind the market's open for another like 40 something minutes, but there is a good amount of volume. So 28 million in calls, 4.58 million in puts. Over the last little bit, it looks like volume has just dropped dramatically. So of course it's Friday afternoon, not much activity for that, but 45% of all the options being done so far today are optimistic and bullish. Of the call options that are being purchased, even though there was that pullback, you are still seeing a good consensus for it to be roughly around that $17 range going forward. And with us being in, or I guess today being Friday, this is the current open interest. So you do have 17,000 at that $16 strike price, and then kind of just small chump change prior to that. So most likely as well, maybe it wasn't just some trigger happy short that was trying to bring it down. Maybe they just wanted to kind of kill any and all momentum first thing for SoFi, because you see a couple other fintechs just like up 5% right now. So maybe that was their plan to just suppress it to make sure it did not get above 16. So again, this isn't going to be the first time that there's manipulation occurring with SoFi. But moving over here, these are some of the latest articles. So like I said, a lot of people just talking about that recent news. Moving over to the actual technicals itself. So let's kind of pop over here. So yesterday you did have that first sign of weakness. Even right now today, it is below that ALMA, signaling more of a consolidation could be coming. So just kind of be aware of that. Stay tuned for my weekend video where I go over some expectations and whatever else for this upcoming week. But aside from that though, because of the consolidation, it actually did reset the technical. So SoFi is rather oversold, which is kind of crazy, but generally there's not much negative things to really say about SoFi. Like a lot of the data points that's been coming out on like a macro standpoint, have been absolutely phenomenal and justifying SoFi's run, as well as many other stocks. So I still do feel there is a lot more upside, and so SoFi's technicals are looking a-okay, and in my opinion, I do realistically feel that $18, $19 is feasible, at least in the short term. So that's kind of my price prediction. I did post on my Patreon where I'm giving buy signals on stocks, options, and whatever else. So definitely pop over there, link in the description below and also the comments. But on SoFi right now, with it at $15.89, it is trading between these 2 points. So the R1 and the pivot. So 14.55 is going to be the strong supports, and then 16.83 is going to be that next strong target / resistance. Both weren't really touched, but then again, I'm looking at the 1 day, so they are very large support and resistance points. So kind of just take note of that. And based on the Elliott wave technicals that I did mention to you, those are projecting for it to hit the high 19s. So even more optimism. So potentially trading between this R3 and this R2. So like I said, I think a lot of the data points that I've brought up are relatively optimistic and bullish. So the options looking a-okay. Shorts returning is always a positive, and probably just them increasing first thing was more of just a mess up. But SoFi's technicals as well are looking very good. So you might see them get a little bit more active shorts if SoFi does, let's say, get closer to that $16 range, just for them to suppress it. But we'll just have to wait and see. So don't forget to pop over to my Patreon, link in the description below and also the comments. Take a look at a lot of my buy signals, stocks, options, crypto, everything that you need to know. And hopefully everyone has a good weekend ahead of them. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.